Before we begin with the questions from the fans, we're going to have just a quick fire round with some questions like, what's your favorite something? And you just have to answer right away.
Okay.
So let's start. What's your favorite book?
The first one that came to mind was just Grapes of Wrath by Steinbeck. Maybe one of the first books I ever read that really talked about poverty in America and class divisions, and really made an impact.
Next is, what is your favorite TV show?
I really like sort of crime family style projects like The Sopranos, and I really like The Wire. But more on the comedy front, there was a show called Summer Heights High. It's by an Australian artist named Chris Lilly that came out a number of years ago, but I think was really on the cutting edge of comedy. Is really quite funny, where this one guy played 3 different characters at the same time, and they're all hysterical. So I definitely recommend checking that out, Summer Heights High.
Next, what's your favorite movie?
Well, it would probably be if Pretty Little Liars ever makes a movie, that would probably be favorite. But I really love Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro. That also made a really big impact on me growing up. He's definitely one of my favorite, not my favorite actor. And that was sort of an introduction to Scorsese for me. And yeah, I think it was an introduction to me about how a character can kind of be almost like both good and bad at the same time. And that was very interesting for me to see.
How would you react if you started getting texts from A?
During the pandemic, because we can't really get out, we can't really go anywhere, I wanted to do like a deluxe spa package for my wife, but so that she wouldn't have to go anywhere, I would like give her a massage and like set up the bath for her, that kind of thing. So I wrote like I printed out like this flyer saying Giovanni's, deluxe spa package. You've won this. Check off the boxes of the things you want to have delivered to your home. And she brought the flyer upstairs and she was like, Yanni, someone put this in our mailbox. I don't know who it is. It seems like someone who knows me, but I'm sure I'm going to call my friends and find out if they got a similar thing. And I just stared at her and I was like, yeah, who could that be, babe? And it went on for so long. And eventually I had to just sort of like break it to her that it was me. I felt so horrible. She was like so freaked out. So that was kind of similar. I don't know. And I'm going to do something like that for Valentine's Day because it's like, we can't do it. We have to be each other's, like I'm telling her like, she's got to start like learning how to cut my hair and stuff.
Who do you think was the best A and why?
Well, I got to go with, there was one episode where I was kind of A, where they thought I was A, and I was arrested. So I'm sorry, I just have to go with myself for that one. And the writers do not tell you in advance what's going to happen. So when I got that script, I was like, oh my God, I'm A. This is amazing. They told me some stuff was going to happen for me. They were like, we've got something really nice in store for you. And then next episode, script came out, my character got arrested for being A. So for one sweet episode, I was A, and I really loved that. So I'm going to go with that.
What was the funniest, almost defining, or saddest situation on set?
For me, I think the memory that comes to mind is the like kind of the final scene I did actually, where I was like dead in a crate with Lucy. And the day was kind of hysterical because no matter what, I had to stay completely still, couldn't breathe, couldn't move. And she's like screaming in my ear. And it was both terrifying and also kind of hilarious that this is what we had to do for like the whole day. And it was also kind of bittersweet and sad because it was I think it was like my last day on set. You never want to leave the show, especially one like Pretty Little Liars. But I got a good send off in that last final scene. So yeah.
Who laughed the most during takes?
I had some scenes where I had to drive all the girls in a cop car. And I'm not like the world's best driver, especially when everyone's kind of watching. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried to parallel park and people are watching on the sidewalk. I mean, when you're doing it in a show and you've got a film crew and like 50 crew members watching and stuff. And there were a couple times where I was supposed to park the car and the girls were in the car with us and with me. And and Ashley would just break into laughter. She would just be like, oh, I can't believe this guy can't even, can't park. And that would set everyone off, and we'd all start chuckling, and I'd have to do it again. And by the end of it, I was better at driving, I would say.
Which character do you consider yourself most like?
I would go with Ian's character, because I actually I train in jiu-jitsu when I teach jiu-jitsu, and so I have some experience teaching, and I would just relate to that aspect, his character.
What was your reaction when you learned that your character in PLL was going to die?
It's really hard when, the show means so much to you on a personal and a professional level, that when you get that news, you take it to heart. But you always know when you're doing the show, like, this is kind of the game, right? Like, every character is potentially on the cutting block. And so it wasn't a huge surprise. I was just hoping that it wasn't going to happen when it did. So I was very sad, but also kind of happy in a way that my character got a pretty good send-off. I think my character was very torn between two different worlds. Was he a good guy? Was he a bad guy? Did he belong with the Pretty Little Liars, or was he with the forces of A? And I felt like in that sort of final scene where I'm, helping Spencer on the train and I'm warning her, I kind of was happy that my character got some partial redemption, and ultimately, right before, getting knocked off, sided with those girls and tried to help them in the story. But yeah, very sad. You love that you fall in love with the other actors and the characters, and going to work is just like on a daily basis. You're kind of pinching yourself, and you just want to be a part of it. So, and then when your time comes, at least for me, like you step back and then you become sort of a fan of the show, and become part of the audience, because you don't know where it's going either, and you get to watch it play out. And but I am serious. I do want them to do a movie. So please go on Instagram. I think it would be awesome, and people would watch it. Yeah, it's very bittersweet, because you're really very, very appreciative and proud to have been a part of this, and then you're sad that your character goes.